Hey, today we've got some steaks. There's 7 steaks here. You can see that they're all petite steaks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make steak sandwiches, and I want them to be lean, so I'm actually going to cut off the fat. And I know a lot of people say, oh my goodness, cut off the fat, you cut off the flavor. That's not necessarily so. If you're cutting off the fat, you're cutting off the cholesterol. You're cutting off the fat in your own diet because this goes right into your body and then it becomes part of your metabolism that now you have to find a way to get rid of. And so we're going to just trim off this layer of fat, all of them. And what that's going to do is that means that you are going to be left with the opportunity to add your own flavors, right? And he said, but I paid for that fat. You're also going to be paying medical bills because of the cholesterol. So stand by. We trimmed off the majority of the fat. Right there, there's a little bit. I'm going to catch that. If there's a little bit of fat, you don't have to worry about it. But the key is we want good flavor and good nutrition. So that's what we're going to start with. All right? Be right back. So as you can see, I've trimmed off the fat. Went back and recovered some of the little pieces because I'm going to get it all. I'm going to use it all that we can, leaving out the fat. In a plastic bag, we've got some salt, some pepper, some onion powder, garlic powder. I don't use any salt because I like to use Worcestershire and soy sauce in some of my marinades. And in that marinade, it's going to have enough salt in it. Plus, meat actually has some salt content, some sodium content in it. So I made up my marinade. I'm going to put the steaks right down in here. More pieces in there. And the reason the pieces are going to be important, as you'll see later, is it's all going to be part of an au jus or sauce that goes in it. I'm going to mix this up really well, and I'm going to let this just kind of sit for about a half hour, and then it will be ready to pop into our electric skillet. I like using an electric skillet because I can leave it somewhat unmonitored, and if there's a problem, it'll be isolated. If I use a pan, you can use a skillet on the stove, but you have to kind of monitor it and watch it very closely in case something goes wrong. All right. So this is the bag of steaks, and we're just going to let it sit for a while, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. All right, we've had our steaks marinated for about a half hour. Give me time to preheat my electric skillet to about 250 degrees, 300 degrees. I'm going to take some tongs and just kind of spread these out. I don't think it's going to hurt one way or the other. Let me turn this up to 300. Get them going. If you follow this recipe, the steaks will be well done. Which is okay if you like them that way. If you don't like them well done, don't cook them well done. You can cook them any way you like. In fact, when I go camping with some of the guys, there's a couple of guys that just pretty much like their steaks warmed, which is okay if you like that kind of thing. But for well done, we are going to not just cook the steaks here, but we're going to want to let them simmer in their own juices and add a little bit more to it so that they become tender. So the steaks are covered with the marinade. And we got 6 steaks in there. I think we can get that 7th one in. And we're just kind of making sure that they're cooked thoroughly. Of course, if you're using non-stick surface, you don't want to hit the surface with the steel, so you can have your plastic utensils available and ready to go as well. The steaks are starting to bubble up a little bit, push them down. when I'm making steak sandwiches, one of the goals is to have the steaks so tender that when you bite into it, through the bun and through whatever toppings you have a nice, easy bite. Certainly our goal here is to brown the steaks just a little bit. And you can see as the blood is starting to come through the steak, that means it's getting pretty well done on the other side. So we'll just turn it over. You can see it's browning. Again, if you want, there's a good coating of brown. If you want them more rare, you can do that. Our family likes them a little well done. Just having trouble. Turn this guy over. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to add some onions and peppers. You can get this ready mixed at the grocery store. I'm just going to pour that right in over top. And for me, there never seems to be enough onion. I'm going to add some more onion. Grab part of the onion that's left in the refrigerator. I'm going to slice this way. This is kind of a quick way to dice onions. You can slice it like this, right? And slice them back this way. There, just cut right along there. You see those diced pieces come out. You can make them as thick or as thin as you like. Just scrape them off there. Spin it a little bit. Go for another cut. I'm just going to let all of that spread them out all over. So you remember our marinade bag? Our marinade bag still has a lot of flavor in it. I just added some water to it to rinse it out. I'm just going to pour that right over top. That kind of settles the simmer a bit. Get rid of the rest of that. And just smooth this out. You got the onions, you got peppers. I didn't have Worcestershire sauce, so I used a little bit of vinegar. That was the malt vinegar. Let's put that in there with the soy sauce. If you like, you want a little bit more beef flavor to it, you can add a bouillon cube, or you can use bouillon or beef stock in your mixture here. So right now the steaks are done. They're cooked. You can eat them. But what I want to do is I want to make them tender. And the secret to tenderizing meat is low and slow. So I want to turn the heat down to about 200. I'm going to cover it. And of course you have the sauce right in there. And it's going to make all those little pieces of steak are going to be in the mix as well. And we're going to let this go for about an hour and a half. Okay, so the steak has been simmering for about an hour and a half. I'm going to take off the lid, make sure you don't drip on yourself because it's hot. You can actually see the steak and you can see the tenderness. And you can test that by just peeling that right off. I don't know if you saw how easily that cut right through. So now for the taste test. Now this is the cool part. I like to have mine. It's just a simple sandwich. Just mayo and provolone cheese on the top and the bottom. I'm going to give me a little extra of the onions and the peppers in there. And save some for everybody else, I suppose. Alright. I'm going to turn off the skillet. lid back on. Ooh. The great part about this recipe is that you can also make some rice with this, or you can just have it as a nice little sandwich, little bite. Goes right through. Teeth go right through, nice and soft. Well, healthier eating, healthier living. This is Great Scott. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the recipe. Have a great one. Make sure you like and subscribe.